Hey, welcome back to the Big Red Zone. We are very excited for today's show. Remember, new episodes come out every Wednesday. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, like us, leave a rating on iTunes, and make sure you tell a friend. This week, we have Jack Moran on. We're going to get into all Patriots, Celtics, Red Sox talk, and much more. Let's get to the Big Red Zone. Welcome to the podcast. This is the Big Red Zone. I'm your host, Big Red. As always, I am joined by Danny Football.
You look good, Big Red. You look good.
Thank you.
Did you shave for Valentine's Day?
I did shave.
Hell yeah.
This is Big Red. I almost shaved it all the way off.
Oh, my God.
I almost thought, but I don't want to go too crazy.
Got to keep the scruff.
Yeah, I have to. Have to keep something on my face.
It's your brand.
What?
I say it's your brand.
It is. Unless someone beats me in golf, that's the only time I'll shave my face completely. Producer John is here.
Yes, sir.
And guest, fan favorite of the show, a good friend of the pod, Jack Moran is here.
Boys, what's going on? Happy to be back.
Now we have
motherfucker in
The BMF.
the BMF of the RBS.
He's a reigning champion.
Reigning, defending our BMF champion.
Yeah.
Now
Not champ, but just BMF champ.
Yeah, not the.
I can't discredit Brian, even though I should slander him, but I won't. He beat me fair and square.
Now, the last time we saw Jack Moran, if fans of the show will tell you, we saw him at the fantasy football draft where he was ripping one David Griffin apart because of his team.
Yes.
And Dave Griffin, he made it farther than most of us, but he made it.
Did he win?
No, he lost. I think in the championship, though. He lost.
He did. Who was the champion? Oh, it was A-May.
A-May, yeah. Yeah, well, if he didn't win, I don't care because I didn't win either. So he didn't know better than I did. I could have came in 10th and I wouldn't have given a can I swear? I forget.
Yeah.
I already called. I already said bad as motherfucker. So.
I didn't give a fuck. So
I was kind of that awkward moment because I was like, I don't know if we want Dave because we had so much slander for Dave, but it also would have been hilarious if it would have been like
if he had won, dude, he would have just I think he beat me we played, I think, 3 times, and he beat me in the playoffs or something.
I think he beat you
he beat me to go to the championship.
Yeah.
But, like, dude, half my team was out. It sucked. Like, I won a different fantasy league that I didn't know I made the playoffs. I didn't set my lineup. And I didn't know it was a week 17 championship. So, I realized I was down, 60 points in the first round. And I won. I went bananas in the week 2. And then I just forgot to check it. Dalvin Cook was in my starting lineup week 17. Mike Thomas, all these guys that didn't play. Forgot about it, still won. I was pumped. First time I've ever won that league, and I always lose it. I always lose in the championship or the semifinals. So I was hyped.
In one of the leagues I made it's a week 17 championship, and I won the first year we ever did the league. I lost in the Super Bowl the next year.
Mm-hmm.
Then I just made it back to the Super Bowl, and I had a 40-point lead as standard league. 40-point lead going into the last Monday Night Football, and Stephon Diggs had.
Oh, that's right.
Day.
Diggs buried you. That's right.
I was and again, I made a lot of mistakes playing. I played Lamar over Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers had a better day. I had a
defense.
No, I played a defense. Stop it. I learned my lesson.
That's your RBS calling.
That's card. I have to do, and people just expect it now in the RBS.
I don't know what started it, but that is the dumbest fantasy football tradition. You just don't.
The thing that started it was my defense for some reason going into I think it was the early games. I didn't want to drop my defense because I had the best defense in the league. And I was like, all right, let's wait it out. Let's see how we do Sunday 1:00 games and 4:00 games. And then Sunday Night Football or Monday night, I'll pick up a defense if I really need it. But then we went into Monday, I think it was Sunday night or Monday Night Football. There was no one left except for the worst defense in the league. And I was like, I don't want to drop my top defense for a negative points. which that defense ended up getting like -10. So I was like, it would have been like, I would have had to make the move earlier in the day. But, I mean, either way, it didn't really pan out at all because I didn't end up, like, the defense didn't help me win the championship or whatever. But, yeah, it was like I had a choice between playing no defense at all or playing a defense that was probably going to get me negative points. That's how it started. But
fair enough.
Yeah, it's not.
But then you stuck to it. I don't know why. I mean, like week 7, Steve's got 2 defenses on his bench and just decides to go with a no defense starting lineup. I would
never do that. It was just like this year, which it was kind of stupid, but it ended up turning into me getting like a good piece. I dropped the Saints defense before week 1 and got Antonio Gibson because he was just on the free agent. And I was like, all right, I'm going to why is this guy a free agent? I'll figure it out. And I was like, I didn't know who to drop, and then I never played a defense, which that lost week 1, I think, to Rob, which ended up coming back to bite me. And it was the Saints defense got like 15 points. Damn. But I ended up getting like in that with Gibson, I ended up getting like
Gibson was a top 10 RB this year.
Well, I traded him. The Ben trade. I got Waller and who was it, Jacobs? Did I get Jacobs in that trade? I think I got Waller and Jacobs in that deal.
After all the shit we gave you, I think Waller produced down the stretch, but like
Jacobs did nothing.
Yeah, Jacobs didn't do shit.
Jacobs did. I'd much rather have Gibson going into next year as my
keeper.
Last round. Yeah.
See, I got Herbert as my round 16 keeper this year.
Yeah.
So. Well, I have Hurts, dude. I'm ready to go.
Okay. I got 2 if I can interest anyone in a trade. Hey, I stuck to my guns. I remember, Zach, you were like, what's the over-under on Tua actually stays on Jack's bench all year? I capped him. I should have dropped him, but I think I offered him to you at one point.
Yeah, you did. He was
just as like an add-in.
He was going to be part of the Claypool trade.
Oh, yeah, Claypool. That was a hell of a draft pick I had.
Yeah, that was really good.
I can't believe I looked back at it. I couldn't believe you actually drafted him.
Yep. Dude, because the Steelers churn out. You know what? I'm not getting into my draft strategy because I am in the league with you again. And I'm sure I don't think Juju Smith's going back to Pittsburgh. So they're gonna have another stud next year. So I'll do my research. You'll see on draft night.
In about the 15th round, we'll see what Steelers wide receiver.
That's what I do.
Drafted.
I always leave like a little bit of room at the end of my bench. Like I'll take a kicker round 15 or 16. I won't reach any higher. And then like either 14, 15 or 15, 16, depending where I like draft everyone. I always do like high upside value, I think, keeper. So, I mean, Claypool and Tua were my picks this year. I mean, essentially they both worked out, but I ended up getting Herbert. So, I mean, Claypool turned into DK for me in that trade.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
I could keep DK for a 4th round pick next year. Or I could keep Diggs for a 4th round pick next year.
I like Diggs better.
I do too.
I like Diggs much better. You have been known to keep 4th round picks just out of like on a whim. But the Dalvin Cook 4th round keeper the morning of the draft.
Yeah, no, Dalvin was already queued up. It was
who was it?
It was Sony.
It was going to be Sony, yeah.
No,
he changed to Cook.
And I changed
it to Dalvin Cook. You changed it to Dalvin.
I thought it was Sony and I changed it to someone else.
No, it was Sony Cook. And you changed it to Cook the morning of the draft.
Oh, because I had Kamara. That's what it was. You had
Kamara at the time, yeah.
Yeah, for the... Yeah, well, good. You know how I ended up with Cook? Friggin' his rookie year, he was a 5th round pick. Someone dropped him. And like during the playoffs that year, I knew it was a keeper league. And I just picked him up. He was just sitting in free agency. Didn't play for me at all his rookie year. So I was like, screw it. Worked out, whatever.
It worked out.
He's now been on my team the past 3 years. And depends. If I get like a late 1st round pick next year, I'll probably keep him. Honestly.
Yeah.
If I get like 10, 8, 9, 10,
yeah,
he's worth it there.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Well, speaking of the NFL, we'll move right into the Patriots, some Patriots discussion. I mean, we've talked about this a lot, obviously, because the Patriots don't have a quarterback right now. They have Jared Stidham on the roster, and really, I don't think Bill has much confidence in him. So who do you protect? Who do you want? Like, dream scenario. Who's the dream option for the Patriots to go get?
My dream scenario would be to give our next 5 first-round picks, since we don't use them anyways, to go get Deshaun Watson.
There we go, baby.
Yeah.
I don't think that'll happen. I would actually be shocked if that happened. We have a shitload of cap space next year.
Yeah.
If Dallas messes around with Dak, I'd take Dak. I mean, we like clowning on Dak. He's a top 10 quarterback.
That's been Steve's freaking pipe
That's
dream.
my guy. I would not
he-
clown on Dak. Dak's he was my keeper.
Yeah.
I think that's a big decision I'm going to have to make because like he's a 15th round pick next year in the draft. So
Yeah.
it's like
But I will say, well, I mean, I'm throwing my strategy out there. But if it comes down to and I get 8, 9, 10 somewhere in there and I keep Dalvin, I'm just not going to keep Herbert. Like, you can pick up a serviceable top 10 QB in round 9, 10. I'd rather have. But yeah, so that I get what you're doing with that. Like, it's tough. It's what would you rather?
But with the Patriots, I would 100% if they can make it work. I would take Dak if he's available, and I think he fits the mold for the Patriots. I think it's a good pickup for the Pats. I like that. The Watson one, I think you could get away with. I mean, I would give up first round picks because, like you said, we don't end up using them. We end up trading down anyway. So if you can get a franchise quarterback for the next 5 years that's young, I would take it in a heartbeat. But
I saw something that it was like they wanted like 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and a defensive player. I would do
2 defensive players, starters. I heard 2 defensive starters. But
I would do 2 or 3 firsts, 2 seconds, and give him J.C. Jackson.
That was one guy. When they said 2, I said I would do a combination of Gilmore because you don't know if you're going to have him for next year.
I think you will.
You think he's going to?
He's still under contract, so.
No, I mean not for this season coming up. The season after that, he's a free agent after that.
Oh, I mean, I'm not worried about that. I'm not looking that far down the line. I'm looking.
But I'm saying like.
I get what you're saying. Though.
Yeah, like he's a rental player, so you have. I'd rather have Watson for the next 5 years than.
Dude, I would do it too, but I think they'd rather the young Pro Bowl corner than.
J.C. Jackson was the other guy, and Winnow. I would do
that.
I would
do that.
2 of those 3 guys with the picks and that you said in a deal for Deshaun Watson.
I wouldn't touch Duggar.
No, I wouldn't.
As much as I ripped on that pick, I liked the pick. I didn't like that we took a D2 player at 37.
Yeah, he still would have been there later in the draft.
Uche, I loved the Uche.
I love
pick.
Uche.
I loved the Anthony Jennings pick. So like I think we have a good amount of young studs on defense. Like I still trust Jonathan Jones. He's been getting better. Yeah. Obviously he has his games, whatever.
We'll have Hightower back, I think.
I think Hightower's gone. 14 million cap hit. He's either retiring or getting cut, is my thoughts.
But won't he still have some kind of cap hit, even if he's off the roster? I think he's going to take a pretty decent sized cap hit. I think he's going to end up playing. I think either he retires or he plays for the team. I don't think they cut him.
I think Chung retires.
I think there's a strong chance Chung retires. Or
it's cut. I saw on his Instagram story the other day, he was asking if anyone wanted to buy a Lake Winnipesaukee house. It was like, what did he say? He's like, serious buyers only or something. So, but yeah, so I don't know. I don't know how the Pats are going to look next year. I'll trust Bill. I trust Bill, the coach, more than the GM, but it is what it is.
Now, I want to just switch that because we said the dream scenario. What's the more realistic option that you think the Pats are going to have for a quarterback?
I think a realistic option is that we're going to go for a veteran, whether that be Jimmy G or bring Jacoby Brissett back. I think an interesting move would be to see what Chicago does and Nick Foles, even Mitch. I'll take Mitch. Yeah. I would take a year of Mitch. I mean, I don't have high expectations next year anyways. I think between the Bills and the Dolphins, we have a very tough division moving forward. And like say the Jets get Deshaun. We're the worst team in the division. Well, no, I mean the Jets will still.
I don't think
the Jets will Jets.
The Jets.
But dude,
find a way to screw that up.
If I'm the Dolphins, I offer Tua, the 3rd overall. Give the Texans back their pick. Give them your own pick. Give them the Texans' 2nd round pick, and then give next year's Texans 1st round pick and your own 2nd. You give 3 of their own picks back and Tua, and you hit everything that they want. Like you got a young quarterback, and you had 3 firsts and 2 seconds, dude. Like I would do that if I was
do that if I was the,
because they already have a good veteran defense that they've already signed. They have cap space. Devontae Parker's good. I mean, their O-line, they're working on it, but like, why wouldn't you? They were what did they? They missed the playoffs by week 17, right?
I think they needed some things to happen, but they won 10 games.
Yeah, exactly.
They were only a veteran quarterback away from being able to really make some noise.
If you switch out Ryan Fitzpatrick and Tua for Deshaun Watson, you're talking about a 3-4 seed. Like you're talking about legitimately giving Buffalo a run for that division title next year.
Right.
And I think Buffalo is kind of underrated. I think they're going to be really good moving forward.
Oh, I thought they were going to be good going into this season. A lot of people downplayed it.
So did I. I bet on them to win the division.
I think it was, I think, like we said, when we talked about the Chiefs-Bills game, when the AFC championship, like they were just young. It was the first year, but they're going to run through the division. They're going to be
They'll be back. I'm not worried about them.
Conference team going forward.
I think Josh Allen's legit. Like,
he is,
I think
100%.
I think you can't say he's a young Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger is a Hall of Fame quarterback, but he's a big body, and obviously Ben never moved like Josh did. He's got a huge arm. I don't know. I like him. I think he's a good. Put it this way, I would trade a lot for Josh Allen right now.
Yeah. I think he's going to be untouchable for his career.
No, I mean, that's a franchise quarterback, man.
You don't trade franchise quarterbacks unless they're disgruntled. I mean,
unless you're the Texans.
Ooh, dude, I would throw a boatload at Seattle for Russ.
Well, that's what I was just about to get into. There's a couple players. One was released because he was unhappy. The other one, we just heard out of nowhere that he's not really that happy. Well,
didn't he just sign a contract last year or 2 years ago?
Yeah, so did Deshaun, though. It doesn't mean shit. To get your guaranteed money and figure the rest out after.
Yeah. So Russell Wilson, like, do we think he's going to get – is he going to demand a trade? I don't know. I think Russ is going to stay in Seattle.
I'd move mountains for him if he was available.
Oh, I would 100%.
I'd move mountains for him.
Yeah. Like –
he's the veteran quarterback. Like
if you're Miami, you give up Tua and like 2 firsts and a 2nd and try and go for Russ. Yeah, he's older, but
you're still gonna get.
It's more of a win now mentality if you do that.
That D is good. That D is real good.
But looking at what what the asking price for Stafford was, you're gonna want a lot more than just a couple firsts for
overpay, dude.
It was awful. That was
Matt Stafford is probably the 12th best quarterback in the NFL. Jared Goff's probably the 17th. You do not give up. What did they give up? Two firsts, Goff, and a 3rd.
Yeah,
I think so.
That was insane, dude.
That's ridiculous.
Lions fleeced them, man.
Yeah.
Fleeced them.
Too bad they're going to waste every single one of those picks going forward. The Lions are just going to get.
Well, they got the new GM. They get who knows.
They do. I mean, Matty P sucks, dude.
That's a bad hire, man. They really did set the franchise back with that hire,
dude. They were the Pats just gave up 41 points and couldn't tackle anybody in the Super Bowl. Let's go hire Matt.
Dude, they fired Jim Caldwell, who went 9-7 and brought him to the playoffs. They fucking dumped his ass.
Yeah. That was a bad hire. That was definitely
horrible hire, dude. I was glad he was gone.
Dude, it's the same thing. I don't want McDaniels to be the next Pats head coach. I really don't.
I think
at this point he probably is next in line.
Well, he just got passed over for the what was it? The Eagles job. He just got passed over for that. Out of some no name, out of nowhere.
Did you see that interview?
Which one?
The presser for the Eagles head coach.
No, I didn't see
that. Bro, when they hired him, I felt bad, dude. social media was destroying it. Watching it, you could tell this guy's probably never spoken in front of cameras.
It was like Adam Gase when he had fucking bug eyes the entire goddamn
But like this guy, you could tell was just so nervous, probably never spoken in the meeting because he's been a coordinator all this time.
You're right.
And like he was getting so clowned on. I was like, damn, like it was funny, but like I felt so bad watching it. It was just one of those things.
Who knows? He could do big things with if he gets.
That's a good team. That's a good team.
It's like he's walking into a.
I mean, they're all right.
They need some help. Like they need to solve the Carson Wentz situation and get something for
Steve. We could throw you out as a wide receiver against that defense. You could probably go for 10 and 120. Like their corners are atrocious.
Their offensive line is awful too.
I wonder if Lane Johnson's having fun. Fuck that guy.
he got one ring. He's all set. He had fun with one fucking ring.
Legit. Dude's a loser.
They're going to have fun
when back. No, you're not.
Back.
Nah, no, you're not. You're not even going to sniff the playoffs the next 3 years.
Don't say that about my boy Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is.
I do love Jalen though,
dude. I want him to be a Patriot so fucking.
I don't think they're going to trade Wentz though. It's just too big a cap hit.
Do you think they're going to hold on to him?
Do you think someone's going to acquire Wentz and take a $54 million cap hit?
I think that a team that's desperate enough for a quarterback will take them.
But that's the thing. They want more than what that Stafford brought in. You think someone's going to take that money and give up those assets? No way.
I'm sure that, well, like looking at it, the Stafford deal, they gave up money with it. So like there was money in the trade. So maybe that the Eagles give money. Like they send.
I agree. The Eagles should trade Hurts to the Pats.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Where do I sign up for that?
I'll sign a petition right now.
Yeah.
Now, the other person that actually got his release is J.J. Watt.
Yeah.
J.J. Watt's now a free agent. Now, my 2 cents on it is like I think it was time. I think he wants like a new spot. I don't know how much gas he's got left in the tank, but I do think wherever Deshaun Watson gets traded, if he does get traded, I think J.J. Watt's going to follow. I have a sneaking suspicion. So, like, if the Patriots got Watson, I think J.J. Watt would sign with the Patriots.
In my mind, J.J. Watt has already signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. It just makes
too
point. Yeah. With Pouncey retiring, that's like $14 million right there. They can restructure. Money. I think they're a little over the cap. Ben said he's going to restructure because you can't pay a 40-year-old quarterback $43 million. Like you get $15 million restructure from there. It just makes too much sense because TJ and him have always talked about wanting to play together, and Derek Watt is the fullback. It just makes too much sense.
It makes sense for all of them to play there, but I also think if they can figure out the money situation, that's one thing. But
I also don't think JJ is going to go chasing a payday. Like he's made probably $180 million in his career.
He wants to win.
He wants to win, but do you think the Steelers are going to win?
I think they have a better chance than the Texans.
Obviously, yeah. I think that.
Dude, they're the best defense in the league, and you add J.J. Watt to that,
right? But the offense.
Well, you got to think. Devin Bush was out hurt all year. Tore his ACL. Game 4?
Yeah, something like that. It was early.
Bud Dupree was out. He's a free agent. Yeah. Now he missed the last 8 games of the season. Yeah. You got to think they started out 10-0.
Yeah.
It was the softest 10-0 ever. Yeah.
It was like last year with 2 years ago when the Patriots were 12-0 and they played the Jets twice. They played the.
But if you look at it, what they do is they started out good, whatever. They beat the Ravens. They beat some good teams in the beginning. We also thought the Ravens were fraud at the beginning of the season, whatever. But it turned out they weren't. But if you go back and look, first of all, I think they need a running back. But they just ran slants. The OC just kept calling slants. Maybe I paid attention to it more because my buddy Ernie is a huge Steelers fan. And I would always just chirp him. He's like, dude, watch it. They just run the same slants. But, realistically, obviously Ben has taken a step back. And no one's, I think he'd probably even admit that. Yeah. But he's still a capable quarterback. I mean, dude, they got young studs on.
Yeah, they have solid receivers.
TJ Watt should have won Defensive Player of the Year.
Absolutely.
I understand why Donald did, though. People being up in arms like he gets triple teamed every play. Like, I get it. But I personally think TJ should have got it. You got Minka in the secondary, who's he's probably a top 3 safety in the league. Then, I mean, JJ, I just think adding JJ, getting a healthy Devin Bush back. Bush is nasty. He is so good. But I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think if he really wants a ring, I want to see him go to Tampa. But I don't know.
That'd be ridiculous.
I don't know if they're going to have the cap for it, though.
Well, Bruce Arian was telling everyone that he was going to re-sign him, so.
Do you let JPP walk and bring in JJ Watt?
Oh, my God.
I don't know.
If they're similar price tags. If they're similar price tags. I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he's going to be a key veteran defensive player wherever he goes. And I
also think it's going to come down to they're planning on lowering the cap. Like, a lot of teams that think they have money are not, and a lot of teams that are really screwed are going to be even more screwed. So I don't think JJ Watt's the last big name veteran you're going to see get cut. You're going to see someone like an Olivier Vernon or something that like is a big $20 million cap hit. If you're the Browns, why wouldn't you cut him and replace him with someone when you have good young players elsewhere? Like,
right.
I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of good veteran talent available, which is where I think Bill's going to do well.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. You remember the Rex Ryan quote from a couple weeks ago about how the people wanted to go to the Patriots to play with Tom Brady, not for Bill?
Yeah.
And everyone was like, oh, my God, this is Rex Ryan. I think there's a little bit of truth in that. I don't think that's outlandish like everyone thought it was.
I think there's a little bit of truth to that. I think it depends on the player. Like Ocho Cinco, when he came to, I mean, he didn't really have a big impact, but
yeah,
I think he was so in love with Bill Belichick, like before the season. I think it was also having Tom throwing the ball was one thing, but I think like if you watch all those mic'd up like clips, he's always like just kissing Bill's butt before he came to the Patriots. So I think, Darrelle Revis wanted to play for. I think Darrelle Revis was another guy that wanted to play for Bill too. And I mean, a little bit of that was, again, I think there was a little piece of truth to that. Is Tom's on the other side of the ball and he get him a lot of opportunities. But
exactly, and I think that was more ring chasing as well.
Yeah.
Right. But especially if you're like an offensive weapon right now, why would you come here?
No.
Realistically, like if the 07 team, the starting quarterback was Matt Castle instead of Tom Brady, do you think Randy Moss would have been like, yeah, I'm down for New England?
Right.
It's just obviously that's tough because it's prime. But even like, I'm sure all these guys that are taking pay cuts to come here to play with Tom, I don't think that's happening
absolutely not.
No, I think. Well, it depends. Like, I think if they get another pretty like a stud QB, if they can find one of these guys, like if they can go get Deshaun Watson, like if they can go out and get do what's necessary to get Deshaun Watson, I think you see like a guy like JJ, or you see Kenny Galladay, or you see Hunter Henry, take a little less to join the team, and because Bill's proven it. You give him a quality starting quarterback, he's gonna get you to the playoffs and have a chance to win. I just think it depends. I think there's a little bit truth to that statement. Like I think you're right. I think a lot of people did come here for Tom, but it wasn't just. I think it was a little bit on the other side too.
Yeah. Oh, and I don't think it's solely because of Tom, but I just think that I don't know. I thought when I was listening to Rex and when I saw everyone up in arms, like that's Bill Belichick, I'm like, I think that's correct if we're being honest. Like I think a lot of people do come just for Tom, but I mean, obviously you'll never know.
Yeah. I think there's some truth to that.
Yeah.
Before we move on, what's one guy in the draft that you like? And Danny Football too. What's one guy? Because we haven't really talked about the draft.
My guy's Ian Book. I want Ian Book.
No,
Are we talking like pipe dreams, or are we talking?
Who's the guy? If in a perfect world, and who do you want?
Perfect world. I want freaking I want that
Devonta
Florida
Smith.
I want the Florida tight end. What's his name?
Yeah, that's my guy, Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I want to see what we got with Asi and Keen. I would, in a perfect world, give me Devonta Smith, dude, and I'll go play quarterback and throw that, dude. Like, oh, you're going deep?
He's not going to be available at.
Well, you said perfect world.
Yeah. Well, like, what would you like? What we're at 15, or like, say you trade. I don't think Bill would trade up, but like, you trade up a couple picks. What do you think it's?
I still say Pitts. I think Pitts will fall right there.
I think Pitts is going to fall there. I think he's going to go up a little.
How high do you think Pitts is going to go?
I think.
I don't see Pitts. I see Pitts at. I've seen him a lot at 12.
Yeah,
honestly,
I don't right in the ballpark though.
I don't know. I mean, first of all, we have enough holes on offense that I'd kind of be pissed if we use a first round pick on a tight end when we just took 2 in the 3rd round last year. You have other things to like we have no receivers. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not too worried about
taking receivers in the first round.
No, I don't. Well, I mean, unless it's Devon, I would take Devonta Smith if he's there. Obviously, he won't be. Jamar Chase.
I like Jamar Chase.
Who's the other? What am I blanking out on the other Bama receiver? The one that with the ankle that in the we were watching in the championship game.
I know what you're talking about. Wide receiver ankle.
Wide receiver.
Waddle?
Jalen Waddle. He's a stud, dude. But I don't know. It's just like I haven't done my draft prep yet. Like, I always go through and whatever. I don't know. I haven't really done it too much yet this year. But typically I do it like the month leading up to the draft. But I don't know. We just have so many holes. We got to see what happens in free agency. Like, is Tooney gone? Is Gilmore? Are we going to trade him? Like, there's so many different variables that it's a little early to ask that. Now, last year, my perfect pick was Kenneth Murray. And I'm sure you guys remember how pissed I was.
Yeah.
He got
taken with the pick.
With the pick that we had that we traded for. Yeah. I was so mad. Oh, that was my guy last year. He's a stud, dude.
Yeah. I remember that was you're a big fan of that guy.
Yeah. At Oklahoma, dude, he's just he plays sideline to sideline. I don't know. Dude, I was so upset when we didn't take him.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's a little early. Like you said, it's like you don't know how free agency is going to go. We don't know how like what trades we're going to make. I think it's going to be. We'll know a little bit closer to the draft.
If we trade to the later half of the first round, I would take like a Kyle Trask if he's there. Yeah. But it's weird. So Kyle Trask had one good year because I remember. I forget if he got hurt the year before. Was stinking and got hurt, or the starting quarterback got hurt and he came in and stunk. It was one of the two of that.
He was pretty bad.
Dude, when he was in the Heisman talk this year, like I didn't really follow college football the first couple of weeks. Yeah. Then they were talking like he was in the top 5 of the Heisman. I was like, whoa, is this the same guy? And I don't know. I mean, he could be another Joe Burrow type. Like Burrow kind of sucked in his first year at LSU. Yeah. Like, I mean, it's just one of those you never know when they're gonna hit their, I guess, developmental stride.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. I'm hoping for. They said a big splash in this offseason, so let's see what the big splash is when free agency opens. So we're gonna move on to a little bit of the Celtics, which is kind of a little more depressing. Which Danny Football I know has a lot to say about this. We've been talking. Lost 10 of their last 15. They dropped to 500 for the first time since being 3-3 to start the year. The 5th seed. Danny Football, what's the problem?
This is pretty bad, man. I mean, I've been trying to defend the team and the lack of effort all season long, but this last stretch has just been pretty rough. Especially in the Wizards game. I mean, just a lack of effort. Our bench has been thin all year. We can't stay healthy. Guys are getting hurt left and right. And the young guys are kind of taking a step back. They're not stepping forward. And I'm a big defend Stevens guy. I'm starting to sour, dude. I'm wondering if the team's just not responding anymore. I'm not sure what you think, but I'm not liking the direction we're going in right now.
I'm not liking the direction we're going in either. I think that something needs to change. And I think you're right. I think we've both been a big defender of Brad Stevens.
I love Brad, but I mean, it's if the season goes down the tubes, I mean, I don't know who else you hold responsible.
Beside Danny, I think Danny.
Yeah, and Danny, and I said it in the in like the season preview episode. You know, if Danny wanted to stand pat, Danny could stand pat. But if this season tanks, then that's on him because he, you know, pushed all of his chips in the middle of the table, said, hey, I'm just going to ride with what I have. Mm-hmm. And if you ride with what you have and this is what you get, you know, 10 or 15 losses, hey, that's on you, dude. And you decided to stand there and do nothing, and the league passed you by.
I will say, though, like, think about how many people we've been missing that have missed. Like, Tatum missed 2 weeks this year. Like, I think I have a very different take on this with you guys. That's why I want you guys to know.
And that's what I was telling Big Red last week. I'm like, oh, you know, we don't have, you know, they haven't all been healthy together, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, this is a bad skid, man, against bad teams, too. I mean, these are games you got to be able to put away.
Who are we missing against the Wizards?
Smart. That's literally it.
So, and the Wizards are the worst team in the NBA, and they whooped our behinds. Like, it wasn't like – the reason it was a closer game at the end was because our bench came in and, like, their bench is awful too, and it closed the gap to, like, a 13-point loss. You shouldn't lose that game. Tatum looked like he was exhausted. So, maybe he needs to have a day in between. Maybe you need to start load management and, like, rest a guy. But –
well, he plays like 40 minutes.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Maybe you need to sit him a game, but
it's because the bench sucks. We can't trust any of these guys to do anything.
It's like, and if you're going to sit him, wouldn't you sit him against the Wizards? Like, that's a team that you sit him against. I don't know. I think, like you said, Danny Football, last week, this isn't the team that I think is going to finish the season. Right. I think there's going to be moves. You have the trade exception you need to use. There's going to be the, like, last week, like mini, like fine tuning trades that Danny always makes. Like he always trades for like a couple like veteran guys at the end of the year, like, or tries to at least. So I don't think this is the team that's going to be the finished product, but I will say
losing to the Pistons and Wizards is that's
awful.
That's a look in the mirror moment, man. You can't be doing that.
Right, back to back too. Like you think you lose to the Pistons, it's like
I get if you're losing to the Lakers by 1. I get if you're losing to like the Clippers by a little bit, but it's one thing to get just the shit kicked out of you by the goddamn Wizards.
Yeah, it's not good. We need to.
It's more of an effort thing, if anything. Yeah, I mean, it's not even it's not a health issue. It's just lack of effort. The guys just aren't playing on both ends of the floor.
I don't think it would have mattered who was on the team. Like, we all played one. If Marcus Smart was there, all it would have been was a major brawl at the end of the game in the locker room. Like, I think that would be the only thing that would have happened, changed differently. We just were terrible. It was just a bad game, and you're going to have those days, but we need to figure it out. I'll open it up. Like, I'll start with the who needs to go.
Jeff Teague.
Yeah.
Send Jeff Teague to the moon. Send him up there with Dogecoin.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of in agreement with you. I think the Jeff Teague experiment kind of
to break out an old BRZ saying, drive him to Logan ourselves, dude. I'll kick him out the door. I'm going 50 and he's out the door.
Swap him for Rondo. That's what I want.
Oh my God.
Let him go back to Atlanta, bring Rondo back here, and let's call it a day.
Well, the funny thing is, like, not funny, like, that's kind of what I was thinking. I heard this rumor the other day, and I mean, we're kind of jumping around, but with the trade exception piece, I'd love to see John Collins in a Rondo deal.
He's my number one.
Here, bring those two here, send Jeff Teague, some young guys, and a pick or something, whatever you need to do over there. And then now you have a veteran point guard who you trust going in, and also the fans love him. They'll love having Rondo back. And also John Collins, who is going to be a great start. Like, he's going to be your bona fide starting big man going forward.
They need to use this goddamn exemption, man. I swear to God.
A deal like that would be excellent because Collins slots in right at the 4. Yeah. Tatum goes back to his natural 3.
Yeah.
Then you got JB going to his natural 2. Yeah. You got Kemba at the 1, obviously. Then off the bench, you got Smart. You can start Thompson or Tice, whatever.
I think
you got the other one off the bench.
Yeah.
And then you got Rondo off the bench too.
Right.
I think Collins would be my number one trade, I guess, who I want. I think he's on timeline. He's a stud, dude. Like he's just falling out of favor down there. They just traded for Capella. They drafted that kid out of USC. Like they have so many bigs down there. They signed Gallinari. Gallinari's one I would take with a TPE, but I don't want him for 3 years at that price tag.
Right. I'd rather John Collins. John Collins is like the guy I'm kind of leaning towards.
John Collins is my number one that I would want. Number two, I guess, is Harrison Barnes. I just don't know who else you're gonna get.
Oh my God.
But that's the thing. You need another wing. You cannot have Tatum playing 40 minutes a night, getting burnt out. Barnes is very serviceable.
This at least it at least reshuffles the deck, gets everyone, like Jack was saying, in their positions, and then you can start playing games and win games you should be winning. Right. And gets everyone back on track.
And we're not going to act like Barnes is like an 18-point-a-game scorer. Like, he's not a bum.
No.
But, like, that's the thing. But you don't need him. He's your scorer and scoring wing off the bench at that point.
My thing is, I think we could get someone else, like some low free agent scoring or something, or a low trade. I don't think we should use the trade exception on Barnes. I think you need to use it on either I think it needs to be a big, like John Collins, or I'd take Aaron Gordon. I like Aaron Gordon if he's like coming in and playing and then I think there's a couple other pieces you could get down there. Like they have some scoring guys down there in Orlando too that you could throw in as like the other pieces.
Like a Fournier.
Right. Like I like him. I think he's a veteran guy and he'll score off the bench for you. And he can play point guard, which is something we desperately need. You have Peyton Pritchard playing, like Peyton Pritchard, the rookie, is playing. He's playing backup point guard.
A lot of minutes.
Right. So
he's a stud, though.
He's really good.
But imagine, like,
but they need more bodies. They need more guys, and they need to reshuffle this team because if they keep riding with what they have, it's not going to be good, man.
Right. Yeah. I don't think Carson Edwards should be getting meaningful minutes in any of these.
No.
Games. He's getting big minutes.
I had such high hopes for him coming out of Purdue, dude.
I like him.
Even Romeo was another one I kind of had a high on.
Yeah. I would move on from him too.
But that's the thing. Romeo hasn't played it all this year because of his wrist. So when Romeo comes back, who knows how his development's gone.
But if you could use Romeo in a trade to get like a John Collins.
Absolutely.
Like absolutely. I want to use that guy.
Would you trade Grant?
That's close.
Depends.
I think it depends on who you're getting back. John Collins.
Would I rather trade Semi than Grant?
Yeah.
But if keeping Semi and sending Grant is going to get the deal done, sign me up. I'll drive him to the airport.
Put it on a t-shirt.
Grant's one of those nice to have players. I don't think he'll ever be a star. I think Grant can be PJ Tucker was in Houston. Yeah. But I think that's his ceiling. Yeah. I think John Collins was averaging 25 a game before he tested positive for steroids.
I think if Grant makes a difference, you pull the trigger.
That's another reason to take him, John Collins.
Yeah. I hope he did a whole nother cycle while he was serving his suspension. Fuck do I care, dude? It's basketball. Like, you're not punching people in the face. And if you are, I want you on my team and on the other team.
I think right now the front runner that came out of nowhere is John Collins. I mean, we talked about it on the show. Aaron Gordon was kind of the guy at the beginning of the season that we were kind of looking at, or Vujicic, like Nikola Vujicic down in Orlando.
At that point, I think it gets too big, too messy with bigs because you already have Tice, you already have Thompson.
But like, hear me out. He stretches the floor. He can shoot outside, and then
But he doesn't play deep. That's the thing.
Yeah, but you can move Tice down. You got Tice down low. I really don't think. I think we're too focused on that side. Like look at the net
defense.
Right now. Yeah, I think the net. Like I just want a guy that's we score.
We couldn't stop the Wizards in the Pistons. I think we need to say
I'm a little worried about the defense right now.
Yeah,
but we can't score against the Wizards or the Pistons either. Like Jason Tatum had 6 points, which is you can say it's because he's tired,
but he had wicked bad foul trouble. Like that's an outlier. That is not gonna be your norm.
But who else besides Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are gonna be scoring?
Hopefully Kemba Walker. I mean,
I am not worried about Kemba. I see everyone freaking out. Like Kemba is someone that I think we should seriously load manage. Like, I understand his minutes are down, but like,
would you trade Kemba for like say a Bradley Beal or someone like that? Would you make?
Yeah, but Washington should get relegated to the like what is it, the G League if they trade Bradley Beal for Kemba. Like,
yeah,
I just don't see who. I love Kemba. Kemba is my favorite college player of all time. So maybe I'm biased, but I don't see anyone out there that is someone that's a realistic trade target that you can flip Kemba for to make this team better.
Yeah, I think the only one I would say is if it, like you said, realistic. The only person I would say that's like tradable, like people like probably is open to being traded, is Bradley Beal, and I don't think the Wizards would go for it. If they would, I would take it in a heartbeat, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I have an under-the-radar solution of someone that I would love the Celtics to trade for, and this is probably going to be a hot take, but I really want you guys like honest reactions.
This is an open mind podcast here. We don't judge.
I want Lonzo Ball on the Celtics.
You're an idiot. No, dude, I love Lonzo Ball. I love
Lonzo.
I think his dad got him into trouble. First of all, I don't think it's said enough how much I appreciate Lonzo Ball's dad.
Yes, LeVar's the GOAT. I hated him at first. He's such a genius businessman. Like,
not even that. He talked the Lakers out of drafting Jason Tatum.
Yeah, thank you.
I am forever in his debt for not talking them in so much. Like, he pigeonholed that team to draft his son, and that worked out.
Cyberbullying is real, folks.
That worked out immensely for us. So forever thankful. I actually don't mind. I wouldn't mind that, to be honest with you. I think he's not as bad as people say. I think his dad hyped him up so much.
Yeah.
Then he can't, like, he wasn't as good as what his dad hyped him up.
Didn't he get like first team D last year or one of the all NBA teams?
I'm not 100. I can look that up right now.
Let me pull it up.
I was actually a big fan of him coming out of school, like when he was coming in the draft. I thought he was going to be like one of the top point guards given in a couple years.
So here's my thought process on that. He's 23, so he's on the same time frame as Tatum, Jalen. He's a pass first, like lockdown defending guard. You get him, you put him at the 2 with Kemba. You play, well, I guess Kemba would be your 2. He's small. You play him off the ball. Like Lonzo with the pass first, I think he would fit in very, very good. And you get Smart coming off the bench, and Smart facilitates the offense for the second team.
He was on the all rookie team.
That's okay.
But who would you give up for him?
I don't know what you have to. I'd give up a late first round pick for Lonzo. Are you kidding me?
You're going to need a lot more. I think you're going to need more than that.
But I don't know, dude, because he hasn't like fallen out of favor, but like, would you give up I
would give up a first round pick and one of the young guys for him.
Yeah, I was trying to pick which one. Like
Carson Edwards, like name your one. Like whatever the
that's
the
a gift
Hawks,
if they take Edwards. Oh my God.
Whatever the Hawks don't want for John Collins, I'll give up the other one of the other young players.
But legit, if you pulled off getting Lonzo and John Collins, and moving forward, your team was Lonzo, who's probably the perfect young point guard to run with JB because he's not going to demand shots.
He's not going to score.
And he's going to play defense. Yeah. And he's a pass first dude. Like, you got Tatum wide open over here. He's one of the best passers in the league already. And, I mean, his shooting's gotten better. I don't know. I would be very in.
I like the idea of taking the ball out of Kemba's hands.
Yeah.
And
I like the idea. I just don't see how he fits with Kemba. I like it. Like, yeah, you slide Kemba to the 2, but I like even better moving because if we got John Collins, who are you starting? Because you're starting JB, Tatum, Collins, and Tice, right?
Yeah.
So who's getting the boot? It's either Kemba or.
Well, you're only gonna get Lonzo you're only gonna get one of those guys. I don't think there's any shot we get both.
You're not gonna get John Collins and Lonzo Ball.
I don't think so, no.
I think it's totally two different animals like that.
I do, but I just think about it. We're talking about Danny. He's not going to unload all his chips.
I don't think he has to unload too much, like in those I maybe I'm naive to think this, but like you said, we just said Lonzo's going rate is a first round pick and a young player. John Collins, the John Collins trade,
which should be way more. Like we don't know what John Collins is a young restricted free agent. Yeah, he wants a max, but if you look at his numbers and the tape,
he deserves it.
He's fucking good, dude. Like
he should be getting a max.
Like I don't know why they've soured on him so much. It just doesn't.
I'll
make
tell
sense.
you right
it's
now,
just what Atlanta does, man. They did the same thing with Horford.
But Horford was 28. John Collins is 23. There's a difference.
I'd much rather John Collins than Clint Capella, hands down. If I was them, I'd be trying to move Clint Capella.
I just didn't understand the Capella trade when they did it last year.
Yeah, I mean that's fair, but I don't understand. That's why I was surprised when I heard they were trying to move on from John Collins because
even if you want them taking that kid out of USC made no sense to me this year because you had Collins.
I like him.
I'd rather. I hope they have a half chub for that guy and we get John Collins. Like that works for me, dude.
Yeah. The Lonzo Ball thing's interesting. I see where you're going with it. I just even so, I think you're right. I think we need to move JB back to the 2 and Jason to the 3. Like the power forward situation, I don't like it. And so I'd rather bring in a power forward kind of big. And if you're going to bring in Lonzo, I don't like putting Kemba in the 2. Like, I don't like it.
Okay, well, you could have Kemba at the 1, and Lonzo's 6'6", dude. He can play the 2. But it's more Lonzo facilitating and Kemba playing off the ball. Lonzo can still guard the 2, and Kemba would still be on the 1. Like, I think Lonzo's size helps you match up. Because Tatum's listed at 6'10", JB 6'7", Lonzo's 6'6", and then whoever you put at center, that's a solid defensive lineup.
Yeah, I like
and
it.
Then at the end of games, you go Smart, Lonzo, Brown, Tatum, and Tice, Thompson, whatever.
But that's kind of my point. Like your max guy isn't going to be in at the end of the game. I don't know.
In defensive situations, obviously.
I don't know. I'm not ready to give. I'm kind of playing devil's advocate here because I'm not ready to give up on Kemba. I think everyone.
I don't want to move Kemba, but would you move Kemba for like JJ Redick and Lonzo?
No, I don't think I'd do that.
I think you'd have to get someone bigger than that, but at the same time,
if you got Lonzo or I don't know, I'd have to look at that team.
You do Lonzo. Say you get Lonzo and JJ Redick, and then use the TPE on Harrison Barnes. Do Lonzo, Redick, and Harrison Barnes make the team better than just Kemba right now?
Lonzo, Redick, and JJ. But
that's a lot of that's kind of the bodies I would need. I think that reloads the team,
right? But also, you just added a. Well, I guess you're right.
It's two separate moves. You would do.
No, I hear you. Yeah. I hear what you're saying. I think I'd rather do the John Collins move.
John Collins is my number one trade target.
Yeah, I'd rather you do the bar because adding JJ Redick gives you your scoring off the bench. Alonzo gives you your facilitating and defense, and Collins gives that scoring, big block, rebounding kind of guy that you have.
Yeah,
but the point being, the Celtics need to do something. Like I need them to do something.
They need to make a move, but I'm not too worried about if this was right before playoffs and we were playing like shit. We think about how much season's left. Kemba's
not as much as before.
Like, it is, but what's 30 more games?
10 less.
So what are they right now? 13 and 13.
13 and 13. So
26. They still have 36 more games left. Boys, we're fine. I will say I want no part in Blake Griffin. That thing came out today. Nope,
I don't want him. I didn't want him when he got traded to Detroit. I don't want him now. I like Blake, but I don't want him on my team. Like I liked watching him growing up, but I don't want Blake.
Would either of you want Drummond?
No, I wouldn't want Drummond.
I'm partial because I'm a Drummond fan.
You're a UConn guy, aren't you?
Well,
that team.
I'll I'll tell you the whole Drummond story after. But I mean, I've liked Drummond since he was at UConn. I think he's good, but I read a headline today. It was like NBA scout says Andre Drummond can get you 30 and 20 and have no impact on the game, which is the wildest thing. I mean, I don't think he's a good fit here. I think I saw Toronto was trying to get him today. I think that would be a good pickup for them, but I just don't think it. I think it's like Thompson kind of, like
it's counterproductive.
I think Thompson's better on D, and I think Drummond would take offensive touches away from the young guys that Thompson isn't. Now, if we didn't sign Thompson and we only had Tice and Robert Williams still couldn't figure everything out, I'd definitely consider Drummond. But
before we move on, are we ready? Do you think this is more aimed towards Zach because this is his guy? Are we ready to move on for Robert Williams?
No.
It depends.
Keep riding Time Lord, man. Keep riding him.
I like Robert
trade him
Williams.
Would you trade him in a John Collins trade?
Oh yes, 1,000%. I drop him off myself. Yeah.
That's big because that's your guy. Like
he's my guy, but I mean that's John Collins, man.
Yeah.
That's a big jump. I love Rob Williams, but his big thing is his health. Every time he seems like he's getting momentum, he goes down.
Dude, and he just struggles on he's so athletic, but the defensive reads and the rotations, he just cannot figure out.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see. Like we said, we're just waiting for the move to be made or moves. We'll have to see what those are. We're getting into our next segment, which our guest Jack's going to join in. It's Picks of the Week.
Picks of the Week.
So Danny Football, for the first time probably in about 4 months, has taken the lead.
Bang, bang.
Picks of the Week.
That was a hell of a pick, too.
I like that pick.
Suns over Bucks by 1.
You thought I hated that pick. I actually like that pick. I
didn't think you hate the pick. I thought you hated the team.
Yeah, I don't know where you got that idea.
Here they come. Dude, go back and listen to the episode. You were a little negative on them.
Like I said, I don't think they're winning championship, but I think they're going to be
they're knocking off the Bucks now. Who knows? They're getting hot.
So let's ride the hot hand, Danny Football. Who are you going this week?
I'm going to go with another one. I'm going to go with Jazz over Clippers.
Best team in the NBA?
I was going to say, dude, best team. Mitchell's cooking right now. I love this team. So I'm going to go with Mitch.
I like it. I'm going. I'm off to a tough start in the NBA picks of the week. I'm going to ride with the boys that I just trashed for about 20 minutes. I'm going C's over the Hawks. It's going to be a tough game, but I think there's been enough like talking crap about the Celtics for the last couple of days. I think they have to come out with some fire and some passion coming into this next game. Like I think it's going to be a win.
Yeah, they got to get a run going here.
And we're going to say hello to our future teammate John Collins.
Yeah, this is how we convince him this is where he wants to come.
So I think Celtics over Hawks. That's what I'm going with. So Jack, who's your Wednesday night NBA team you think is going to win?
All right. Well, I'm a gambling. Well, I'm a former gambling.
You're
man.
retired.
And I'm a retired, but I do like big home money lines. I'm going to go T-Wolves over the Pacers.
I like that. I like that pick.
I like
I don't know what the odds are, but I'm hoping D'Angelo Russell's back for that game because he's missed a couple.
What's up with Cat? Like, is he hurt again? Or like, because he had COVID for a while.
I think he's back.
Yeah, he just came back, didn't he?
But yeah, I like them over the T-Wolves over them. So
that team is like just got screwed. Like if they had Cat and like they're like one of the worst teams in the NBA right now. But if they have Cat full strength with D'Lo, I think they would have been.
Yeah, they said since the trade happened midway through at the trade deadline last year, they've played 5 games together.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Christ.
Which is you got to think the season ended right after the deadline.
Right, and they didn't make the playoffs.
But
that's typical T-Wolves, man.
You want to know what really sucks if you're the T-Wolves? You're on pace for the number 1 overall pick, and the Warriors own it.
Yeah. That does stink.
It might be number.
No,
it
it's
might
protected.
Be top. I think it might be top 1 protected.
Is it top 3? I heard top 3 protected.
It might be top 3. I don't know.
So they can just be awful for the rest of the year. They'll get to keep their pick.
Comes down to the ping pong balls, though.
Yeah.
That's true.
But that's talking about the rich getting richer.
One of my kids I coach for basketball, freshman basketball. He's a big T-Wolves fan. Like that's his team. So he was telling me a little about
getting on the ground floor. Good for you, kid.
I think his dad's from Minnesota, so he grew up a T-Wolves fan, born and raised T-Wolves fan. So I respect it.
Fair. It's better than being like a Mavs fan and having a Luka jersey.
Hey,
who's Dirk Nowitzki?
Oh my God.
I want to move on to the Red Sox, but do we think that our man Luka's had enough in Dallas? They got to be careful. They got to hold on to. No,
I don't like realistic. What's this? His 3rd year?
Yes.
Yeah. He's a 1st-round pick. They can control him for the next 6 years. Why would you trade Luka? Unless you're getting Giannis, I wouldn't trade him.
What if he said, "I'm not playing"?
Okay, then you can sit there. Call his bluff. No. Yeah. Call his bluff.
Yeah.
When you have 6 years of his future, like going forward, you call his bluff.
So I think
if he sits for 6 years. That's on him, man. That's 6 years of his prime.
It's kind of like Houston with. I think the Houston Texans are kind of doing that with Watson. They're kind of calling. Like I heard, Nick Caserio said he has no interest in trading Watson. I think it's kind of getting to the point where like these GMs are saying, "I'm going to call your bluff and make you sit. If you want to sit, you sit, and we'll pay you." But
no, they don't get if he
get
sits,
fined, right?
Paid. Yeah.
They get fined. I think they technically get paid, but they get fined a certain amount of money.
I think they get fined their money back.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think you're right. But it is interesting. Is he gonna? He's getting frustrated. There's rumblings. There's some rumblings.
It just doesn't make any sense, dude. Like, I don't know.
All right, let's table that. We'll do that another time. Because we're running out of time here. Let's get to the Red Sox. This is now you're a big Red Sox fan. You think you're more a Patriots fan or a Red Sox fan?
Red Sox.
Yeah,
Red
that's
Sox,
what I thought.
100%.
You're wearing the sweatshirt.
Yes,
it's all over your wall.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I live vicariously through Jack when he was going on all those Red Sox games.
Oh yeah.
That's one thing I meant. Like I was thinking about this. I think you actually brought this up, Dandy Football, when we were talking about what to talk about today. What game are you most looking forward to go back to? When
that's a good question for Jack because he's a season tickets holder for the Celtics
and the Bruins.
I'm a mini plan season ticket holder.
Well, I was gonna say because he's a big Red Sox guy, so I wonder which one he.
Yeah. So
there's nothing like going to a Red Sox game.
I was gonna say
it's weird. So me and one of my buddies split, or not split, but we bought into one of the season ticket plans for the Sox. The 10-20 game. I forget what it is.
Probably 20 for the Fenway.
And then me, the same buddy, and 2 of our other buddies, we split the membership that gets you Celtics and Bruins season tickets. So we have 2 tickets for that. We have 4 for the Sox. So I mean, I'll have plenty of tickets once sports comes back. I'd not way rather, because I do love the Celtics. I love the Bruins. I love the Pats. We are on the Pats season waiting list. But I mean,
that's going to be years.
I would I don't know, I'd probably kill someone who'd be back in Fenway. Not actually, but I would do some dirty.
Dude,
I would do some dirty things
no need
for it to be July.
I was going to say, a summer night at Fenway, you can't beat it.
Dude, a Friday night, July, getting shit cocked at Fenway, and then heading over to the baseball tavern afterwards. Long live the baseball tavern.
All right, Pete.
I'm going to have to find a new spot. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a bleacher bar guy.
Okay, fair.
The Red Sox games are that's something I miss going to. I've gone to a lot of games in my day, and it's nothing. Every time is just as better as the last.
Dude, Fenway is 15 minutes from my house. It sucks.
Oh, you live that close to Fenway?
Uh-huh.
I didn't know. I didn't realize you lived that close.
Yeah, I'll Uber here, and they'll start following the Uber down the main streets, and I'm no, go this way, and 15 minutes later we're there. It's perfect.
So, judging, I mean, you're big
To answer your question, the Red Sox.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was
Yeah.
going to.
I mean, baseball was the first sport I played, first sport I loved.
Yeah.
So
I will say though, I'm ready to turn. I'm in a saving for a house fund right now. I have a little jar underneath. A little jar stuffing money underneath the mattress. But I will throw it all away to get tickets to go see Brady's first game back in Gillette. I'm ready to give my whole life savings.
I will
go see that.
If
game.
tickets are $1,000, I will be paying $1,000 to being at that game.
I'm ready to give up my life savings. To that game.
That's why we swipe on the credit card, pal.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I said, I rolled the dice once back with that divisional game against Tennessee, and I was like, you know what? He's going to be back. I'm not going to try to get tickets to the game. I messed up. Fooled me once, they say.
That's why I'm glad I went to that last Celtics game. Jack was there. I'm glad I went to that last one because that would have been a pain in the ass.
The Jazz one, right?
Yep.
The Jazz?
No, it was the Thunder. It was the Thunder game.
I went to the Jazz game. That was
they threw that game away.
I was at both of those games.
Pissed at that game.
Sorry, got distracted. I thought of the Red Sox, but how would you rate this offseason so far?
I think I'm in the minority. I'm a fan. Like there were moves that came out like when we gave Garrett Richards when it came out like 1 year, $11.5 million. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing, dude?
Right.
Like Corey Kluber just signed for $10 million. Like,
right.
But overall, I'm pretty happy. Like, it was time for Benintendi to go. Right. Like I like Benny. I hope he does great in Kansas City. But again, like you can't really judge the whole deal until we know what those three players to be named later are. Which Khalil Lee, the guy that the Mets got, I was reading an article today. So the Mets and the Royals never even talked.
Right. I heard that today too. This was interesting to hear. This was like a whole separate deal the Red Sox just did.
So in my mind, like we got a decent like low level pitcher. Who I actually read. I'll bring up their scouting reports in a sec. Like I typed it all up when I was reading on him. But he's decent. But Khalil Lee is like significantly better. So that leads me to believe the player to be named later that we're gonna get is pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially because the Mets were really, really high on Khalil Lee.
Lee, I think, was better than the guy that we got from the Royals. Like, I think he was ranked last year. I think he was ranked like 67 prospect in the MLB. And I think he was like their third to sixth best prospect in Kansas City. But yeah, it was a totally separate deal. I'm with you. I don't think it's as bad. I'm not like this is a great offseason, but I don't think it was as bad as initially thought. Like I think, like I joke and I say like we're the most interested team in the league because we just keep letting people go by.
Yeah.
But I do think we did get some solid pieces around. You're gonna need to be successful this year. We're gonna need our guys to hit. Like not when I say hit, I don't mean like hit physically, but I mean I think we need to hit on some of these guys that we picked up. Like they need to produce. But the Benny trade I got, like.
Oh,
did anyone else lose him?
Yeah, I just lost you, Steve. Still lost you. I can see your mouth, but.
Uh-oh.
All right, and now on Jack and Zach.
Now that Big Red is gone, all right, let's get down to the real business.
Yeah.
All right, Jack, how quick do you think you could... Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Back. I was going to say, Jack, how quick do you think you could submit Jose Canseco?
Me?
Yeah.
My couple months of jiu-jitsu, I don't know, dude. After that dive, I probably would have just like kicked him in the mouth, dude.
You know what we say about that, Jack? We call him the C word.
Yeah, we call him the Rob Marcello special.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that was a coward move. Anyway, sorry.
Whoa! You can't say the C word.
I had to. Sometimes it's sometimes you're due.
No.
Yeah, I don't think it was as bad. Danny Football. Do you like? Who do you think? Is there anyone that you think we should get in the last couple?
I think I'd still like to get Jake Odorizzi. I'm not sure what
Yeah, he hasn't signed yet, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm more wondering if something's going on with him or if I don't know what's going on, but I like Jake Odorizzi.
When Sale comes back, I think we'll be fine, dude. Like, I think we'll be a wild card team this year. I don't think we're going to be a 90 win, but I could see us winning 84 to 86 and getting one of those 2 wild card spots.
Now, what do you think about JBJ? Do you think we should?
I'd take him back, but I'm not giving him a 4-year, $10+ million that he wants. I'll take him on a 2-year, $16 million deal.
I think as it goes right now, I think we kind of need him in the outfield.
I'm in the minority. I think you bring him back and you make it work, but I think Verdugo is your future center fielder. I think Verdugo is a stud.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's the best.
I like Renfroe, dude, out in right field. We'll see how it goes. He's got a hose.
Right. Who's your other outfielder? Who do you
Franchi. Why do you think you just traded Benny for him? Dude.
I don't know. I'm not. I mean, I'll have to see it, but I'm not a big believer. Like I'd rather when looking at it,
guys. JD Martinez can play in the outfield. Let's get come on.
So this was what I read on Franchi. Cordero is considered to have elite speed, ranks in the top 3% in sprint speed, has shown elite power, ranking 35th overall in average ball exit velocity, with 20% of his batted balls exiting at over 105 miles per hour. Damn. And I was reading something that he was statistically like the most unlucky player last year. So you have your regular batting average, and then one of the more in-depth they use, I don't know if you guys follow the like analytics and whatnot, is expected batting average. His expecting batting average last year would have been 3rd in the MLB if he qualified.
Damn.
With plate appearances.
Now I've heard this because this is what I've like. A lot of people are saying he has a lot of pop.
Dude, but with how short right field is, you could be looking at a 30-30 guy.
But in Double-A, his first year, a lot of pop. He hit 3 home runs. His second on 92 at bats. His second year, he hit 7 home runs on 139 at bats. He had 0 on 15 at bats his next year. He must have got hurt that year. And then last year in the big leagues, he hit 2 home runs. Like a lot of pop to me isn't hitting in Double-A 7 home runs in your best year.
I get that, but it's also a combination of his exit velocity and how short Fenway is. That's right. The combination that you're looking at there. And a pull hitter, he could he won't be a 30-30 right away. I think 2-3 years down the line maybe. But if we got 20 and 20 out of him this year, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
You think we got 20? You think he's going to hit 20 jacks?
I think it's a legit shot. Yeah.
I don't know. Last year, you're right. Not a big sample size last year. He had 38 bats. He hit 211 with
I will say though, like think of the people that Chaim Bloom made a move for when he was in Tampa. Like look what Randy Arozarena just did.
Right. I think that's the only reason I'm kind of like I have an open mind to this guy because Chaim finds the crumbs around the league and like they just sees things. Yeah. But I have high hopes for him, but I don't see why we're saying this guy has a lot of pop when the most he's hit is 7 home runs. I keep messing up. He's hit 7 home runs, 12 home runs in his career. He had 10 home runs in the minor leagues. Mm-hmm. That's not great. That's if you're a guy with a lot of pop, you should be hitting 20 to 30 jacks in the minor leagues easily each season. That doesn't make sense to me. But open mind. I think I would like them to sign JBJ. Like you said, I don't want to give him bring in the brick truck, but I think we kind of need him to round out the outfield just in case Franchi doesn't work out. Because I think looking at it, I think he's kind of like what Andrew Benintendi was to us. Like I think it was like they kind of ran its course with Franchi. We've ran its course with Benny, and it's like we just kind of traded to see if we could get a change of venue. I'm not 100. I guess long story short, I'm not 100% sold on this guy, but I have an open mind to see how he does. I think he could develop. I think he could still develop into a solid.
So I was literally just going to say I'd rather sign Kevin Pillar, but 17 minutes ago, the Mets just signed him.
Oh, great.
So,
Fantastic.
I mean, like, if you can get a 1 year, $3 million with Kevin Pillar, I would have.
Yeah, I would take that. I would have taken that.
Well, not anymore. So
Yeah, I don't. But like that kind of type, I would have taken. Fair enough. Now we kind of already talked about a prediction for the season. What do you think they're going to finish? You said, Jack, a wild card team.
Yeah, I think you see mid 80s in the wins. I think the offense is good enough, and I think once Sale gets back in May, you got Sale, you got Eddie, Evaldi. I like Garrett Richards. I just think we gave him too much money, but I think he's solid. I think you got some other guys too. Pavetta, he's an analytics darling. I think it'll be interesting. You got Tanner Hook. I think you got. I don't know. We'll see. I think I'm more optimistic about the Red Sox than a lot of people are, which is weird because I'm way more down on them. I'm like,
I think you're not too far off, and I think Danny Football, you're kind of in agreement. I think they're going to be I think we talked about it, but I think they're going to be a wild card team.
I put it at second wild card. I was going to say 80-ish wins, nothing too crazy, but I think they definitely have they're not like crazy pieces, but they definitely have like the bodies to be able to get in there.
Yeah.
It's a solid.
I think big bounce back here for JD.
Yeah, it's going to be a solid team.
I think so too. Who's one minor league / young guy that you want to see make an impact this season?
I'll let Danny go first.
Oh, I was going to say Tanner Houck. I
love Tanner Houck.
I know it was a small sample size last season, but compared to all the other bums we brought up, I mean, this dude seemed pretty legit. So I kind of want to see what he has. I don't know if we put him in the rotation right off the bat, but I'd like to see him get some pitches in.
I want Jaron Duran.
Yeah.
And then, I think he'll get a run at some point. I think he's one of your starting outfielders of the future. Bold prediction, though, I think Darwinzon Hernandez ends up as your closer and is a stud.
Well, I remember from back in the day, back in my Pawtucket Red Sox days, he came up for a little bit and he just throws hard.
Throws Chad. He's insane.
So his problem was like direction and like hitting the strike zone. That's always been his problem. So if he can figure that out, I think he could be the closer of the future. So the guy that I want to see make an impact this year, and I've been singing his praises for a while, it's my man Bobby D. I think he's he's our first baseman of the future. I think, continue to just see him improve this year. And I think he's going to be a strong piece going forward this year. So not this year, going forward past this year. So I want to see him keep improving. He has a lot of power. Like he hits a lot of bombs, but it's like the strikeout part of it. I want to see if he can bring that number down.
He reminds me of Joey Gallo.
Yeah.
Chris Davis.
That's a good comp.
Yeah. I just want to see him to continue to improve, but I think he's going to be a solid, like he's going to fill that hole at first base, I think.
Dude, he could be Adam Dunn, and I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Hit me 45 jacks and you can strike out 220 times. I don't care. Someone's going to do it.
Yeah. And he's going to fill that. He's going to be at the bottom of the lineup right now. I think that's where he's projected. But if he can be like that, kind of like that 5 hitter, that 4, 5, 6 hitter, like right in there, I think that would help out the team a lot.
I want to see him get some run batting third because I think they'll probably do Verdugo lead off. You probably
Bogues too.
I think if you go Dahlback 3 and then you go like JD 4, Raffy 5.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely something doable. And honestly, with JD and sandwiched in between Bogey and JD, dude, he gets some pitches to hit.
Yeah. Right now, like I said, he's projected on a couple.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Like Vasquez is projected to be 5 right now. Which
really?
I don't know. Vasquez is an interesting guy because like he could be like he's either really. I love Vasquez, but he could either be really on or sometimes he's like your 8-9 hitter. So I don't know. I kind of like Vasquez at the bottom of the lineup, so he adds a little more, adds a little something at the bottom of the lineup.
I'm pulling up Red Sox stats, tweeted out what the analytical lineup is saying.
Yeah.
Oh, this is what it was. This says Verdugo 1, JD 2, Kike Hernandez 3.
Really?
But also has Dahlbuck and Franchi getting some ABs there too. Devers 4, Bogey 5, Renfro 6, Dahlbeck 7, Cordero 8, and then Vasquez 9. I'm game.
Yeah. I hope Bobby D has a great year this
Because
year.
the thought process is the 3 spot is generally considered the 5th most important spot in the lineup.
Yeah. And the
so,
2
yeah.
is like considered your best hitter. Like the 2 is kind of like where you want to plug in your best hitter. So I wouldn't mind seeing JD get some spots get some hits at.
Yeah, and then leadoff is whoever's obviously getting on, and I think that's what Verdugo is going to be the table setter for you guys this year.
Right. Now, we'll each say one. What's one key you think to the Red Sox this year having success? Danny Football?
I'm going to say getting off to a good start. I think 2019 and 2020, they kind of dug themselves holes early in the season and kind of just set the tone for the rest of the season. So I kind of want to see these guys first 2-3 series come out, get some wins, kind of get good, feeling good about themselves and, get a good culture going and see where they can ride it.
Mm-hmm. Jack?
Health.
Yeah, I think
if we can stay healthy, I think a lot of the guys, what you're going to get. I think that I don't put too much stock into the 60-game season. It's tough to get going if you're out of the playoffs race after 30 games. That's preposterous to look at it in a normal season. I'm not worried about it. I think as long as we can stay healthy, we'll be solid. I think we got some good depth too.
I think my thing is just the pitching. I hope that's been our problem the last few years. Kind of goes with what Jack said, the health side of it. Like we need Erod to be performing. We need Evaldi to be performing.
Sale needs to come back solid.
You need Sale to come. I don't want to rush Sale back, so not even thinking about Sale right now, but like you need these guys that we put faith in, that Heim we trust. He put faith in these guys to fill out your lineup, your starting 5. Like we need to see if these guys perform, because if we don't have any arms, we have no shot. Like our offense is okay. Like
when Sale gets back, I want them to do the 6-man rotation that Heim's talked about. Keep all the miles off Sale's arm until September and when it's needed.
Yeah, I like that idea. That's probably the best idea.
And with Erod, you don't want to mess with the heart. Evaldi, dude, you got enough depth now, especially if you go sign Odorizzi, like you just talked about, Zach. Which I don't think we will, because that would put us over the luxury tax. And I think all the moves we've made this year have been to keep luxury tax and future earnings low. Because after 2022, I think we have the only 2 people under contract after 2022, besides like arbitration and shit, is Sale and Bogarts. So you are if you let Heim build his team and then you get there and it's a big free agent class, he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I'd like to see them sign. They need to sign Raffy long term, but I think you're right.
I'd like to explore extensions with Raffy and Verdugo.
Yeah, oh yeah, Verdugo too, absolutely. But yeah, I think all those are key. I think, and like you said, I think we're going to be I think we have a chance to be a wild card playoff team. Moving on, let's get into our last segment of the night. We're going to the people's topic.
It's the people's topic, baby! People's topic.
All right, people's topic. Reminder, you can write in on Instagram and Twitter at Big Red Zone. Give us a follow. You can also leave a comment on our YouTube page. Hit the like button on this video as well as all our other videos, and subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, producer John, let's hear it.
We're going to start on Twitter. Again, as Big Red said, follow us at Big Red Zone. Usually, he said write in whenever. Usually I post the stuff on Mondays, but if you have a question, give it to us whenever. Talk to me.
I was like, if you have a burning question, I want to let them have the hotline right in.
I want to hear it.
I want to hear it right away.
At J Marchais1, how do you rank Chase, Waddle, and Smith?
Ooh,
Smith, Waddle, Chase.
I was gonna say the same thing. I mean, you have to put the Heisman at number 1.
Yeah,
You have to put the Heisman at 1.
And you've seen what Waddle does. I mean, obviously Chase didn't play this year, but were we even talking about him before Joe Burrow set all the records?
No, not really.
I want to see how he does without Heisman Joe Burrow. So we'll see.
I mean, if the
I don't think Mac Jones is very good.
No,
Like I would, if the Pats took him at 15, I'd be a little mad. I'm
not a big Alabama quarterback guy.
Except Jalen Hurts.
Except Jalen Hurts, and then they shipped him out to Oklahoma.
But yeah, dude,
that's the real reason why
I'm a big Alabama quarterbacks are not as good as they seem because think about it, dude. You're gonna have Waddle and Smith, they're both gonna be first this year. Last year, you had Ruggs and Judy.
Okay. Judy.
Like that's ridiculous. I could legitimately play quarterback and look good with those 4 around.
I don't know about that one.
I promise you. I promise you. As long as I don't get sacked, I'm just throwing it up there and they're making their move.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. It's gonna be interesting because Chase, I don't know where he's gonna fall, but do you think the Bengals take Chase to go with Burrow, match up with Burrow?
Dude, if you take Chase that early.
Where are they picking? Where is the Bengals?
4, right?
4? Yeah, maybe.
I think that's early.
Yeah, I think that is early.
I think they need a left tackle.
Yeah, I like
not
that.
even just they need an entire offensive line.
I like that offensive line. Sorry, we're getting off track. I think you're right. I think it's Smith, Waddle, Chase.
I think it depends on what the Jets do. If they take a quarterback, I think that kid Penny Sewell or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
If I'm the Bengals, he's there at 4. I'm not. He's the highest graded offensive tackle ever since fantasy, the Focus Football started grading everything.
Yeah.
Like at that point, dude, like Joe Burrow's career is going to be nothing if you can't block him.
Right.
All right. From our friends to the South, the Dirty South.
It's the
Small
boys.
State Big Tate's podcast.
Small state.
I'm interpreting what they said a little bit, but I think they want to know our opinions, thoughts, or just talk about the late Juice World.
The late Juice World.
Oh, did they just tweet Juice World? I thought I saw that tweet earlier.
Yeah. It wasn't really a question. It was more just a topic, but that's everyone's Juice World.
Sad that he died, and Come and Go is pretty good, but
I mean, I liked him, but
I know
this is going to sound fucked up, but what did he think was going to happen when he took all the pills to avoid, what? I mean, I like Juice WRLD. I was never a crazy Juice WRLD
I wasn't a big fan, but
he's got some pretty
he's got some years.
Yeah, dude.
I think he would have been huge. The same thing. I was a fan. I wasn't nuts about him, but he was already so popular. He would have kept growing.
Dude, Goodbye and Good Riddance was a really good album.
Yeah, I don't think in my opinion he hasn't made anything as good as that album.
Black and White's a good song.
Yeah.
What's that song? I mean, I'm not gonna fucking get into it.
I thought you were gonna start singing it.
No.
We're gonna give you the floor there, Jack.
No, but that was a good album. He's really good on features too.
Godzilla was good, yeah.
His freestyle was really good.
The Sway thing he did.
Is that the one where it was
I think so.
Let's hear it, Jack. Let's hear it.
No. I'll just send you guys the link. But that was a really good freestyle. But dude, I remember being reading it, and I'm when they were the feds or whatever there were raiding his plane or whatever. I'm why the fuck did you just take all these? There is only one way that can go. And obviously it went bad. I obviously don't wish that I obviously don't wish he's dead, but I wish he was still alive. But what are you thinking? I just don't understand that.
Steve, what's your favorite Juice WRLD song?
I don't know.
I still see the shadows in you. I'm not.
Let's hear, I more want to hear Jack.
We get some auto tune pumped into these mics.
Yeah,
that'd be sick. All right, well, I don't know what they wanted from that question.
Yeah,
I don't either.
I think they're just trying to throw us off at this point.
Yeah, that was,
the only thing they said was they replied to the tweet. They just said Juice World. So
yeah, I saw that.
That's definitely a declaration of war right there.
All right, I guess a similar style of asking the question. We're on Instagram now from @Chris Natsis _. He asks Bruins ?
They're doing good.
They're a wagon, bro.
Yeah,
a lot of comeback wins. I mean, the Islanders game was a little disappointing, but this team never says die, and I love it.
I would rather them not wait till the third period, if I'm honest. But
at least they're doing it. I mean, better late than never.
It reminds me a lot of the what was it? The Red Sox team. I think it was the last World Series team where we just had so many walk-off. Like
the 2013 team had a lot of walk-offs.
Was it 2013?
I think so. Yeah.
I thought it was the last one. I
2018.
I thought it was 2018.
No, we just kicked the shit out of everyone. 2013, we were winning.
No, during the regular season, I thought we had a lot of come from behind wins. I thought it was 2018.
I don't know. Jack.
2018 was the year we ran away with the President's Cup.
2013 is when Johnny Gomez was winning.
No, I'm talking about
breakfast.
You're talking about the.
Talking about the Sox.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about the Bruins because we were just on the top.
No,
of the
I compared them. I think it was the 2018 Red Sox team where they had. Remember they had a lot of come from behind wins. Was that was the 2018 team, right? During the regular season.
I mean, they had some. Like I remember going the come from behind against the Yankees were Benny at the walk off.
I'm thinking of.
But then they also kicked a lot of teams' teeth in, like 12-1.
That's what I'm saying. I thought we rolled a lot of those.
Maybe I'm thinking of 2013.
I don't think you win 108 regular season games by being the come guy kids.
Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of 2013, but I just remember one of those Red Sox World Championship teams. We just came from behind a lot of games, like we had a lot of grit, and that kind of reminds me of the Bruins. The Bruins are playing unbelievable in the third period. It's like I think they have a good shot to. And I was a little nervous going into the. They lost a couple key guys, but I think they're doing awesome.
Yeah. I think the funniest thing that I saw about completely off topic, but it was like if Joe Biden wants to talk to someone, a 46 that has an uncooperating right wing, he should ask David Krejci. It was wicked funny.
The 2013 Red Sox had 11 walk-off wins.
What did 20? Yeah, that's definitely more than
2018. Red Sox.
You might like 2017. I feel like they had like the year after.
I don't know. I was thinking it was I thought it was the last one. But
I feel like we got way off topic.
Yeah, that's a lot
because we started with the Bruins and
the question was literally Bruins ?
Yeah.
Sammy Swoosh 7. What are your thoughts on the Celtics trading for John Collins?
I already talked about it.
Listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
Dial back to the podcast.
Go back about 30 minutes, and then that's
longer than that.
Probably about 2 hours ago we talked about that.
But also, hey, thanks for
the thanks for the question.
Yeah.
Thanks for the question.
From the Andy Man 11, who starts week 1 under center for the Colts and the Patriots? And then he said, "Get ready for football questions all offseason, boys."
AJ loves the Colts. He loves the Colts. Colts, yeesh.
They're kind of in the same position the Patriots.
You had a good person for him last week. I can't remember who you said.
I have a great one if they actually want to make the trade. Carson Wentz.
I think you may have said that, Steve.
I said the Bears.
Frank Wright was the OC, right? For Wentz?
I could see that.
MVP season.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that was the Super Bowl team.
The Patriots, anyone but Cam Newton, please.
I love Cam, but yeah.
I like Cam a lot. I really wanted him to succeed, but I'm not. I really don't want another season.
Who was my Colts pick?
You had a really good Colts person last week. I can't remember who it was.
I don't remember.
I wish I remember who it was.
My thought is I think it's going to end up being Jimmy G.
In the Colts?
for the Patriots.
Oh.
I think
Is he officially released? I don't think so.
no, he's not officially released.
I only think they'll release him if it's a better, like a surefire better option.
Dude, I heard this today, and it kind of made sense. Like what was it? It was for Watson. Like them trade for Watson, and they give up like a crap ton of first round picks, and then there was like a couple other. I forget what the actual trade was that was projected, but it actually made a lot of sense, and I think it would flourish in that Kyle Shanahan offense, and I think it puts them into like I think it makes them like the contender for that division. Like I think that helps them with that division. I don't know. I forget what it was, but I heard a good trade. Doesn't really help. I guess this point's probably mute now that I don't remember anything. But it was. Like I was like, oh, I didn't even think of that angle, and I kind of like that. But
I would take Nick Foles though. I kind of want him. He'd be our dark horse.
I don't think Nick Foles comes here. I don't know. Was it Mitchie?
It might have been Mitch. Yeah, I think it was Mitch. I can't remember exactly.
I don't remember.
I want to say
I wish I did.
I'll say Mitch to the Colts and Jimmy G to the Pats. See what happens.
That Wentz to the Bears like just kind of fell out. Like that was like
I don't think they hit the cap. I think Wentz would do well in Indy. Because his thing is he can't stay healthy because their O-line sucks. Indy has arguably the best O-line in football.
Yeah, and they have a good defense too.
They have a really good defense.
Left up the fucking dry.
They almost are. I feel like they might kind of be the perfect situation for Wentz. Now that I think about it, he goes to a team. They have good running backs. They have decent receiving options, but they'd still have more money to upgrade, and they have a good solidified D. They have their picks. Kind of makes more sense now that I think about it.
We'll have to see. I could see that. I forget who I said. I don't think it was Mitchie. I wish I remember who I said for the Colts. It's probably just like a spur of the moment thing where I was like, oh, that makes sense. Dak would be good anywhere.
From last one from Cupid himself, Joseph __ Celia.
Love this guy. He liked my Valentine's Day post, so I appreciate it.
How confident are you? I kind of already talked about this a little bit, I think. How confident are you guys that Bill will be able to attract free agents this summer?
Depends on the quarterback. I don't know if he's going to be able to sell a lot of offensive guys on what we have right now. If it's trash.
Our D will be solid like it always is. I'm not worried about
defense. I'm worried about if Jarrett Stidham is going to be the quarterback. Everyone's going to be like, I'm not fucking going here.
I think you're right. I think the first hurdle he's going to have, like making a splash this offseason, like they're saying, he needs to get a quarterback. They need to figure out the quarterback situation. And then from there, you can start to add pieces. There's a lot of wide receivers out there. Like there's a ton of free agent wide receivers. Yeah. Jack mentioned Juju. He thinks he's going somewhere. Chris Godwin, I think, is leaving Tampa. He's going to be a free agent. Kenny Golladay is a free agent. I think he's leaving. Who's the other guy? Marvin Jones. He's a decent wide receiver. He's probably going to be gone.
I don't know. I think it's just one of those things that we need to see what the cap is. There's going to be a lot of cap casualties. I think we'll have a very veteran heavy team next year.
But I think it all starts with the quarterback situation.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Then again, say I'm trying to think who's like a vet that. Like a Vernon was a bad example, I guess. Like, who's a vet receiver? Like, say Ted Ginn gets cut. I would take Ted Ginn. He's not like a huge difference maker, but he's a vet that is going to catch a ball and not drop everything like all our receivers do.
Yeah, I think we need to get. I like I said, I think it starts with if we get a decent QB. Like if we get a Jimmy G, or we get. Like we said, pipe dream Watson or Dak or even Mitch. Like I said last week, I said I'd take Mitch next year. If we get someone that is a capable QB, I think the wide receivers. I think we can get Hunter Henry, and I think we can get a wide receiver or two in here. and then maybe add a veteran guy. I think we can do it. I really do. I think the defense is fine.
I don't think I'd spend the money on Hunter Henry, though, with his injury history. Especially when you drafted 2 tight ends last year. He's good, but he
tight ends, but they're like they were mid to low pit. Like I
with a running back throwing to them.
Yeah, but I still don't think they were that.
I don't think they're going to be Gronk and Hernandez by any means, but I'd like to see like if they have anything before I go spend a third of our salary cap, like our excess cap, that on a tight end that can't stay on the field.
I'd still take a chance. I'd take a chance on him, or there's a couple other tight ends that
I'd rather go get Njoku.
I'd take Njoku
or OJ Howard.
I'd take OJ Howard. We're both OJ Howard fans. I'd take OJ Howard. I'd take Kyle Pitt at 15 if he's there. Like I think you. I know you don't. I know you say we have a lot of holes that we need to fix, and you're right. But Kyle Pitt is a guy that could be a difference maker.
That you could have prime Gronk. If you don't have anyone throwing it to him, it's not going to make a difference.
Right. That's why I said that starts with the QB. Like the first move we make, we need to go get a QB.
Yep. Whether it be drafting one, whatever. Like I don't really have expectations going into this year. So like at this point last year, I just in my gut I thought Brady was leaving. And then I don't know, something everyone was like, no. So I'm like, all right, he is coming back. And then he dropped it. And I was like, I fucking knew he wasn't coming back, dude. Like, I literally was going to go to that Titans game. And I told myself, one, I didn't think they were going to win that game. And I was like, nah, man, like, I'm not going. Like, I can't go knowing that that's well, at the time, I thought he was gone. I was like, I don't think that's like, I can't go knowing that this is going to be his last home game. But I went to the Chargers playoff game the year before, so that was his last home playoff win. So,
were you happy you won? We didn't really talk about it. You happy you got the win?
Yes.
Yeah. I think everyone was. I think you should be happy.
I think you're a maggot. Yeah. If you have been rooting for Tom Brady for 20 years and he's giving you all that happiness, and Tom can't win. Fuck you.
That was the most you've looked into. Like you looked right into the camera there, too eyed right into the camera.
Sorry. It just pissed me off, dude. Like,
did you like the celebration?
Which part?
We're kind of
Brady being sauced. I fucking loved every second of it. Dude, me and Tom Brady both like to get drunk sometimes. That's what it is. That's the most human that I've ever felt connected to Tom Brady. Like, he gets fucked up just like I do.
Don't tell our friend that you like to.
Oh my God, Rob. Rob. When's Rob coming on Big Red Zone?
I know he's made his appearance He's made a couple spot appearances.
When I've called him,
and he made the draft video he was on.
Yeah, we need a full Bobby broadcast episode.
That would be pretty.
I'm campaigning for it.
We'll have to put it into.
You should get Rob and Noah on the same pod.
That would be too much Electric Factory for one episode.
Dude, my car speakers would blow up.
Oh my goodness. Was that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, thank you for writing in. Reminder, you can write in to our Instagram and Twitter at Big Red Zone. Give us a follow. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the like button on this video as well as all our other videos. And tell a friend. I want to thank Jack Moran for coming on. Pod, always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, boys. What is this, my third or fourth? One of them. We've been up there. I think
this is your third episode. Then you're
fourth, I guess, if you do this the draft
video, but third episode.
Damn.
Always a pleasure.
So I have the lead for Danny Football was a recurring guest, but now he's host.
I think Danny Football was on 3 times.
Well, he's a host now, so he doesn't.
No, I think he was. Yeah. Oh well, yeah. I guess. Like producer John was a two-time guest.
Well, John's the producer, dude. That don't count either.
Yeah, but before I'm saying before they became joined.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you probably have it now. If we're taking those guys off the board, I think you probably have it.
Whenever I make my next appearance in a couple months, I request Dave Griffin be on the same episode.
Oh my God,
Dave Griffin. Well, that's a rivalry like no other.
Oh, me and Dave, I love the kid to death, but I also like to ruin his life. So it's almost like he's my little brother, dude, the way I enjoy fucking with him.
Well, on that note, after ruin, like you said, you like to ruin Dave's life. That's a great way to end it. I want to thank Danny Football and producer John. Oh, as always, have a great week, everyone.